We'll see who shows up, right?
Yeah, there we are. We are live. What's up, Jennifer
Hello,
Lacey?
Jesse. How are you?
I am fantabulous. Where are you? Because the
Well,
background
it
looks a
is
little
not. This is not my normal studio that I'm in.
yeah,
So I am on vacation. So I
nice.
am up in Philadelphia, and I have a lot of family up here, and so we have a couple of celebrating the life of one of my uncles, and we're going to go to the beach, and it's really cool because I have a lot of family up here, and so a lot of my
Yeah.
core memories as a child are just coming here
Mm,
with my mom and being able to go to the beach and just doing things with my grandparents, and so now I'm doing that with my own kids, and they love it. They get away, they're having fun, and I'm living their best life right now. So, and I'm in here with you.
nice. Of course. Of course. Well, you know what? Miss Leslie asked if we're going to be live streaming on July 4th, because I guess that's the next
Last
scheduled
two
date.
weeks.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah, why not? And I'm like, oh, wait, it's a holiday. So I don't know. You tell me, Jen. I'm planning on it.
Yeah.
If not,
Well, the good thing, there's two good things about it. Number one, it's usually early on Saturday, and it's also a holiday, so more people are off, so they should be able to join, right?
I agree. People like this rascal here, Mr. Jeremy Blair.
Oh,
What's up, Jeremy?
have you been watching all of his content?
Oh yeah. Oh
He's
yeah. He's
blowing
coming
up.
hard.
He's putting some
Uh-huh.
stuff. If you don't follow him, like follow Jeremy. He's a safety guy. I mean, that's
Yep.
his role. But man, his people, like the connection to the people, is like next level.
100%. 100. And so speaking about connecting to people, the topic today is unlock what your customers truly care about. And so I'm guessing, Jen, that you're going to teach us all about customer acquisition and ascending customers to exponentially grow the lifetime value of each customer.
And the
Am I getting that?
ROI, right? And the
Yeah,
ROI,
yeah.
all the things. So no. We're not doing all of that part today. Today, which is funny because our last live stream, we talked about owning our value, right? Like owning what our purpose is and what is the things we're passionate about and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we focused and we got clear. We got some people to do some self-reflection. And so this one is now that you kind of know where you fit and with the things that are important to you, are you just now going, okay, now the world needs to adjust to now what I can provide them? No, that is not the answer. And so it is today, once you get clear, you also need to understand what the expectation is and what your customers need to see if there's a connection. It is not a puzzle piece. We're going to fit it together. We're going to make it work. It's once you're clear, which is super important, and then you get clear on what your customer's value is, you get to make a decision. And so that's kind of some of the stuff we're going to talk about today.
Yes. Oh man, the comments are coming in.
Okay.
We need to do the housekeeping quick because they're ready to go.
Yes.
All right, Jen, hit them.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. And if you're out there listening, some of you, we may be coming across your feed and you're like, who are these crazy people on the screen? So if you're out there and you're lurking and you're just kind of haven't really engaged with us before, first time you're seeing us, or you show up and you listen, but you don't really comment, this is for you. And so we are asking you, if this is the first time you've seen us, you've been lurking, let us know you're out there. Like you don't have to put a whole lot, but we don't know you're out there unless you make a comment. And if it's your first time, we ask you to put a blue heart in the comment for the only reason that it lets us know, because we want to celebrate you, because we love when people engage with us. The other is it lets all of our No BS tribe that are commenting right now that you're new and that we want to bring you into the fold, and we want to make sure that you know you are valued, and that it lets them connect with you on whatever platform you're on. It can engage with your content and all that kind of fun stuff. So, and that is usually how our tribe grows, is because we just start engaging with each other. So if it's your first time listening, please put a blue heart in there, write blue heart. It doesn't matter, but let us know so that we can celebrate you.
Yes.
And if you make a comment, every time you make a comment, it adds you to the randomizer. And Jesse, what does that give them?
The randomizer. If you're at the top of the hour, we will run the randomizer. And if your name gets selected, it's a kind of a digitized raffle. the person that gets selected will get a 1 month pass to work with other high octane ballers working on those leadership skills that most people are scared of or
Yes.
just can't even touch.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable. It is, we'll say your self-awareness will multiply.
Yes.
So again, make a comment, leave an emoji, or if you just want to keep lurking, that's okay too. I love the lurkers. I love me some lurkers, especially when I meet them in person.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. So we got some people coming in already.
Let's celebrate them.
Miss Sarah, she's Boy Bass Movement. Yes. Good morning, No BS Tribe. She's doing a lot of good things. Miss Erin Watson, the wizard behind all things depth builder. Good morning, Miss Erin. Mr. Jim, I got to hang out with Mr. Jim earlier this week. There at DFW was awesome. We had a lot of fun. It was good. It was so good. And then we got Daddy Hoots, Mr. Adam, one of my peoples. So folks, again, drop your comments, ask your questions, leave your insight. And like Jeremy says, if you're new, I know both of these people professionally and personally, solid leaders who build people. I appreciate the banter I share tenfold.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, man. That's again, the beautiful thing that I like about the No BS tribe, right? The No BS community is how everybody contributes to each other's path, right? Like we support each other, and I've been able to see it. I know you've been able to see it, experience it. Is like as one of us grows, everybody grows.
We all grow. We are so much. Yes, it's exponential because we're just like we're tag teaming with each other. Yes.
Yes, 100%. Speaking of somebody growing, Miss Maya says, "Good morning, good morning, my sister."
I think I'm in her stomping ground. Like she's up in Pennsylvania area. Like not.
She's in your area. Yep.
Right. So if you just jumped on, I am in Philadelphia visiting relatives. We're driving up to visit my uncle today and stuff like all kinds of stuff. But yes, I'm up here for the week to visit family and things like that. So
yeah. And if you need phenomenal photos,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can't, and I wrote it on LinkedIn, but I want to say it. So Maya was at our event that we had a couple weeks ago, and she was the one capturing all of the, the photography, the video. And so it was that part of it. It's not just like capturing the event, and I wrote it, but I want to say it again. Like I have so many amazing memories of that conference, the Converge Construction Conference that Megan puts on. And we had so much fun together. And then she's starting to like drip out her photos from the event. And she captured moments where like in my mind, I remember them, but like I see it and I'm like, oh crap, now I can I have a photo to like hold on to like go back to go, oh, I remember that moment. And she like captured so many of those.
Yes. Fantastic. I mean, the pictures are just phenomenal. I'll say that. She's an amazing human being. And then I also got to meet Miss Jennifer Martinez.
I know. I got a text like, hey, are you going to be here? I'm like, I'm not there.
Oh, man, it was so good. So good. All right. I say let's hit them with the first question.
Okay. Yes.
So then folks out there in the Omniverse, this question is for you. Who are your customers and what do they value? Now, I want to trip you up a little bit. Expand your mind beyond your job. Yes. Expand your mind, the definition or the cluster of customers beyond the people that you're invoicing or submitting a timesheet to. And I'll just leave. Is that enough? Is that loose enough?
That's enough. I think once we start talking, it'll be even more, but yes.
Yeah. So Jen, like, where do you think this idea is going to help people?
Well, it's going to help. I mean, I can speak for myself personally it took me a while to define my value and what I was able to provide because, and when we started talking, when you and I started connecting and when we clashed and whatever you want to call it, when we crashed into each other, I I communicated to you that my value was defined by where I worked.
Yes.
Like I would, and I'm gonna say I was proud of it. I just said, hey, like this is who defines my value. And
Yep.
that was about 6 years ago. And over the course of the last 6 years, I've been a little work in progress, and I have finally realized that I provide value to them, but I get to define what's important to me, and I get to define the things that I want to lean into, my purpose, my passion, things like that, so that I can go, here's the value I can provide. And then I get to interact with so many amazing people and figure out, does my value fit their need?
Mm.
That was a not just a mind shift. It was like a it was like I was on one planet and now I'm on another planet. I feel like just what the way my thinking went from like what value look like. And so why this question is important is because through all of that, I got clear. And for work, it was easy because I got to be like, here's the things I can provide. I can't just like walk away or go, that doesn't really work from the things that aren't work.
Yeah.
So for me, I have two teenage daughters, and you've gotten to be a part of a lot of their growth over the last 6 years. But I know what I'm supposed to do as a parent. I know the things that I screwed up on, all the things personally. And in my mind, my value is to help them do this. And my value is to keep them from doing this and to teach them this. And that's not always what they're looking for. And that can cause some disruption. So I'll throw that out. I'm sure you have another question, but that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think an important thing, because there's a lot.
I know.
And I want to be clear, or I want it to be clear for the tribe out there is listening. Did that happen like in a 30-minute session?
No. I just said 6. It's been 6 years, and again, I think I'm still figuring it out, but I'm a little bit better than where I was. No, it's been a try it, fail, try it, a little bit of good, but a whole lot of not good. Like it's been a lot of like PDCA. If you know it, like plan it, do it, check it, make an adjustment, make an adjustment. And so now I'm just not saying as much, and it's at least not getting me in trouble as much.
There's a lot there. Hell, that's a whole separate topic in the like thinking versus saying.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, did we scare people? Because I still don't see any answers from the tribe. Come on. Here we go. We got an answer. Miss Maya says, I'm transitioning from considering everyone my customers to understanding my customers are people who want to not only have the service I provide, whether it's photo, organizational, operational support, but they want an actual partner in the experience. That's massive.
Yes, that's huge.
Right? Like what I love about that is getting clear, right? Again, separating the person that's paying me from who's the partner, who are the people they need to be, what are the type of people or the characteristics of the individuals that together we can create something impactful, meaningful, and unforgettable, which is not the same as who's paying the bill.
Oh, Jesse, I think it's that part. It's when you can look at a situation, an opportunity, a proposal, and you can separate getting a check from providing value. And
yes,
obviously you want them to match and go together, but when it becomes more than just about the money, that to me is when things start, you're starting to shift on, this is not a fit. Yes, I can do it. And I know I want to ask you a specific question, because I know there was a time where the ask of you was very tactical, tool driven. We need you to come last planner. I know that was a lot of the draw because of your experience and because of the things that they've done with you. And there was a shift for you on, yes, I can keep doing this, keep making money, but this is what's important. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I'll talk about it in two scenarios. When I had a real, and the reason I want to talk about it in two scenarios is because I want to help people connect to it. So when I had a real job, I got extra clear about the value, like how I had the biggest impact, the thing that brought me the most fulfillment. And so I went to my bosses and I put together a little, 3-year timeline of, this is what I want to do. Here's where I know that I can deliver the most impact. And here's the transition plan to like grow these other things that I've been responsible for and hand over responsibility. And they said, we don't need that. We already have something for that. I was like, I know you have something for that, but it's not really working. And like, yeah, well, we have this other thing we want you to do, right? Which was massive. It was like national responsibility. It was a big, big deal. A lot of money attached to it, a lot of status attached to it, right? A lot of security. But in that moment, I knew I don't want to do that. It's going to get in the way of me serving in the manner that I best serve. So I made a decision like, okay, I can't stay here. Like, that's what you want for me. This is what I want to do. We're out of alignment. Now, I didn't quit that day, but I started drafting my exit plan to eventually start the business that I'm operating in now. Fast forward to when I started the business, I got a lot of like last planner, which is fine. I'll help people with last planner. But kind of like what Maya was pointing to, there were several engagements where people, the decision maker was reaching out for the services and they didn't want anything to do with it. Like, they wanted me to come and do a pep rally for them and believe that would cause like organizational transformation. And did like the month, like I'm running a business, I kind of need to make money. But I knew that if I did that, it would not achieve what they wanted to achieve. I would get paid, but it wouldn't have the impact that they thought it would and that I need to stay healthy. And so I redesigned my system so that I could filter that kind of request out. Not that I don't want to do the thing. I'm happy to do the thing, but it's going to take a lot more investment, collaboration between me and the decision maker and the team over a longer period of time. It's not going to happen in a day. So I had to design the system to help them say, no, never mind. I don't want that. I'm not prepared to make that kind of investment or commitment, whatever it was. Because I knew the value I needed to deliver that was important to me, which is creating some loop, some fulfillment loop. And I also knew that the value that they were after, I don't know how to achieve it in a one-day pep rally.
So a couple of questions. One, I want to go back to a fulfillment loop in a minute. So I love that. I love that term. But Jesse, how important is it? And I know that there are people out there that are like, yes, once I figure out, what they need, then I'm going to get clear. How important is it to like get clear on what's important to you before you go? Like, can you dig into that a little bit? And then I want to hit on fulfillment loop.
Yeah. So I'm kind of similar to what you said. It's not like I was 100% clear out of the gate. Like, I was figuring out as I went. Did I do pep rallies? Yes, I did. And then they were disappointed and frustrated and, all the things, which led me down the path of getting clear. Like, oh, okay, it's these certain dynamics that are creating that outcome. What can I do to adjust that? But I think the one clear point that I was super, super clear on, which is your second question, was that I needed to have a measure of fulfillment. Now, I posted yesterday and I'm going to be flooding LinkedIn with these posts. On the 23rd, I'll be celebrating 10 years of sobriety.
I know. I'm so excited. Yes.
And what does that mean? That means I'm an addict, right? I'm still an addict. And what I learned early that first year of my business was making money is not that hard, right? I mean, actually, I knew that before, right? There were things that I did that I didn't get caught for that made me money, but they weren't good for me, right? And like Jennifer says, it can never be just about the money. And so if I continued to set these monetary goals, I continued, like the first 2 years, I just blew them out of the water. And it's like, man, if I set another goal there, me being me, I'm going to start thinking that I'm just amazing, which is a slippery slope for me. I can't be chasing money anymore because that's dangerous for me. I need to change my goals. And so I made a hard shift. Like from now on, my goals are to build out these things because they have the most fulfillment. They provide the most fulfillment for me. They're going to be way freaking harder. They're going to take a lot more time, but it's that fulfillment that keeps me sober, that keeps me alive. And so I think the one thing that I got clear on that I kind of knew, but I wasn't completely committed to yet, was that I needed to be working for fulfillment and serving others, not just making the money.
And I want thank you for that. And we want to also acknowledge, because I think you and I talk about this a lot, there may be a season in your life, there may be a moment where the fulfillment is the money. And like, we know that. We know there are different reasons, different things that people are making choices. And, you know, you made some at some point, now you're making different choices. And I put this in the category of the status quo will get you promoted. You'll continue to climb the ladder. You'll continue to keep doing the things that have been laid out before you to continue down whatever career path that happened before you showed up. Whatever that is, the status quo, you just keep checking the boxes. And there are people that are still in the kind of that rat race, I'm going to say. Okay. And if that's okay with you, then, you know, maybe this isn't your conversation, but, or you're struggling with some things. But there's also those people that they're not, that doesn't make them happy, or they're not content, or they're like, something's going on here and I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And that's the people that we usually are trying to breathe life into in saying that, like, the status quo will do this for you, but it will never you'll never lead people into the unknown. You'll never change things and establish things that didn't exist. Like, if that's your realm, you can't base it solely on money.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, I flashed up Jennifer's comment about golden handcuffs. You're talking about the status quo. Like, the biggest irritation that I need to like manage is seeing my friends, people that I trust and respect, stuck in a situation where their growth, their impact, their ability to serve is suppressed by the organizations and the management and leadership that they're with. That drives me freaking crazy. And there's a way out, but it's scary. It
is scary, Jesse. It's scary. But I want to double down on, and it's also a lot of times self-imposed. And I can speak only from me, but I feel like I was self-imposing a lot of what was restricted on me within a firm because of my thinking and because of what I thought I had to do or what I thought I needed to do. And you know, because you've experienced it with me, not everything's like this, but it wasn't them creating me in this whatever space I was in. It was very self-imposed based on my thinking.
Yes. And that's, beautifully said. And that's why we're having this conversation today. It's like, so you can start seeing that there are pathways out. None of them are easy. I just say that. Maya brings up a fantastic point. So I feel like the season of fulfillment being the money is in the beginning of whatever the thing is. Yeah, we got to have security, right? I mean, we could take that back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, you got to have some security. And I got a lot of security. That's why I get to do crazy, dumb shit all the time, because I've designed my life in such a way that facilitates that.
Jesse's not offering you like an extra room if you don't have security, because he has no extra space.
I don't have extra space, and I don't want you in my space. All right, let's go to the comments. So we got Mr. Chuck that we both got to meet in Chicago at Converge. He says, good morning. And then we also got Mr. James Gable, the uncommon communicator. What's up, Jay? Man, we got people
We got to meet Stephanie while we were there, and I got to hang out with her, and it was so awesome when you came up multiple times. So anyway, she was awesome.
Yeah. Now back to the question. So Jeremy answered the question. I think it's an important one. My values currently align, right? However, when I see issues in the system, I try and influence up. Safety is a hard value sale. I try to expand the role into values I think need some love. I don't always get applauded. I do get static, but I must push towards my core value and still align. I'm still figuring it out. 100%, right? Like, yes. And again, you touched on it, the status quo. Like, if your expectation is that you discover your greatest value and put all your time and effort into it, and everybody's just going to say, oh my God, thank you. We've been waiting for this. Brother, no. There is going to be friction. Yep. If you're not prepared for the friction, just stay in line. Be ready for friction is my point. Miss Sarah says, as I left my position and people reached out to me, I found that it was my energy that drew them to me. Then it was my ability to make them feel comfortable, solve problems, and make tough decisions. And so she brings up a good point, right? Like, I've left a few places in my life, and it's interesting. Similar, I think what she's talking about is kind of, I've experienced it in that the value I thought, and we're going to talk about this more, the value I thought I was providing was not the value that people appreciated most. But I didn't find that out until I was freaking leaving. And then I was like, man, why didn't you tell me that? And so, which brings us to Mario's point. Mario says, sometimes when we care a lot, we can create friction. All we are doing is the best for the customers. What do you think about that, Jen? Does that sound, you experience that?
Yes. But I want to, I'm going to lean into the value that we provide. Like, sometimes it's just who we are. And Jesse, you and I, when we show up places, our energy is a little bit different sometimes.
Yeah.
And so this past week I was meeting with a leadership group, and we were going through doing some strategy conversations. And in the end, before we left, because there were a lot of things we talked about that every part of my brain was like, whoa, like there's a lot here, and I'm not sure how much of this I have capacity for. So I needed to like get a little bit of clarity. And so I'm like, what is on my plate? What is on our plate? Things like that. So my question to this group was like, what do you see my role being with everything we talked about today? And I shared some of the takeaways with you specifically, but like the first thing out of one of their mouths was like, your energy, like you have more energy than everyone, all of us combined. Make sure that doesn't go away. So, and it was interesting, like we're talking about a corporate, position with a lot of data and ROI and all the tactical things. And 100% of what came out of every one of their mouths were the way I show up, the way I engage with our people, the hugs. Like, it was literally conversations that someone would go, what? But that was the value that they see. But no one tells me that. No one goes, hey, Jennifer, I know your roles and responsibilities are this, but we need you to keep doing these things. But I asked.
That's it. That's the point here, y'all. Right? The first question was, who are your customers and what do they value? Number one, who are your customers? Think beyond the people you work with, right? Mm-hmm. Your family, your friends, your internet friends, like they all get some value from you. There is some value exchange with every human being that we interact with. So who's your customers? Everybody, right? Or like Maya suggested, and it's the game I play, I'm very selective about who my customers are, who I'm looking for to like bring into my circle. And the rest can be window shoppers. There may never be an exchange of value, but we'll say good morning and
so
whatever.
You get to choose?
I may be doing it wrong, Jen, but absolutely I do get to choose 100%. Now I'm going to say this, me operating my own little business here, because I choose, I leave money on the table.
Mhm.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm very okay with that, which takes us back to the fulfillment loop. So my recommendation to people is, what is it that brings you the greatest fulfillment? Focus on doing more of that. Everything else is downstream of that. Now,
Yes.
in terms of what do they value, the only way to know that is to freaking ask. So, Jen, you've been with your firm for more than 2 or 3 years,
23. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the insight you have on what they value today, how does that compare with what you thought they valued a year ago?
Oh, I mean, okay. Every year it's different. It's more, I realize more and more of the things that I provide. And it's only because I've asked. It is not because they've updated my roles and responsibilities. My title now has these things versus these things. It's like none of that was something that was just okay. Now I understand. Now I get it. It now also those of you that know me too, like I've created a lot of it. Like a lot of it, they didn't go. Here's what we hope for you. Here's what we see for you. Here's the path that we hope that the value you can provide us. So we say ask. Sometimes they may not be able to know it or
Right.
see it, but until I found it and I was able to lean into it and I was able to go, this is what I can do. I was then able to pave the path. Then they were able
Yes.
to see the value and then tell me double down on that, keep doing that. Like but it was kind of a mix. So it wasn't all of a sudden everything opened up and then it was laid out in front of me. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. I think, again, I want to point out to people is like, we will get clearer. And I also know from living it, the more I focus on serving the people in front of me, the talents and gifts that I've been blessed with grows and expands. And it's like, oh, so it's a new thing. It's a new layer. It's a new depth. But I don't know until I ask, right? So asking is key. I have a lot of dumb stories that highlight the idea of failing to ask.
And just one more thing that came out of that meeting, because I know we got a lot of stuff to still talk about. Another thing they said, Jesse, which like you don't understand, like I tried to like contain, but they were just like, Jennifer, we need you to continue to engage and celebrate our people. Like if you know me and you know what's important to me, and and I have my leaders telling me like, make sure you still focus on these things. Like that was a moment where I'm like, I'm not sure that was been defined anywhere in any of my responsibilities.
Right. It's not on the job description, right?
No.
That's not there, but you don't know until you ask.
Yeah.
Main point, folks, freaking ask your people, what do they value?
Yeah.
And what do they value? Like, what is it that they appreciate that you specifically do? It's wonky. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's an important dialogue to have. And maybe even like open the door, like, hey, I need to ask you this. Think on it and just know the door's open, because I really want to know whatever that is. It's super, super important.
Yes.
All right. So next question is, have you ever delivered something you were proud of only to discover they cared about something entirely different?
What about you, Jesse? Let's start with you. And you said you had a couple of examples.
Oh, yeah. I got bunches of them. But the one that comes to mind the most is I had just finished doing a big training for a firm here in San Antonio. And they brought like all of their people, the executives, C's, like everybody was in there, which I didn't know. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, man, I was being a dummy. But it was good. And so, it was a full day workshop. We were doing all the stuff. And at that period in time, I was very focused on like, this is the process. These are the steps. This is how it works. This is what to look out for. And I got to talk to one of the managing partners afterwards. And I'm like, all right, man, like, was I too relaxed? Was I too And he's like, no, man, it was great. And I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, because I knew he was familiar with like the lean last plannery things that we were talking about. I was like, were there any topics that maybe I didn't communicate the way you understand them? And he says, Jess, I don't like your knowledge and terminology is fine. Like everybody calls it the same thing. It's not that big a deal. He said, that's not what I'm happy about. What your value is you got my superintendents excited about this. And I'm like, that never occurred to me, right? Like in my head, I need to make sure, I teach the standard and give them the mechanics and best practices and whatever. That was not what he valued. He's like, no. What is valuable to me is that you got my people excited. And I'm like, oh, like that shifted. I'm like, oh, so then I could just have fun and do it the way I like to do it, because that's what people value more than the other stuff. Because, and again, in reflection, I'm like, well, shit, they could have all gone to YouTube to watch videos on the bullshit I was talking about, which does not have the same impact as me getting them motivated and excited and eager and curious about doing the damn thing. So it was one of those aha moments, like, oh, okay, I need to pump the brakes on this stuff and just go full pedal to the metal on this other stuff. And since then, it's had a huge impact on the way I can connect with people when I'm doing my stuff.
Well, and most of my examples are the same, are just going in with what I think my value is and what I'm going to do in the room, and I do it. And then the conversations after were, holy crap. Like,
yes,
you did this in the room. Like, there's no way we could have expected that, nor could we do that. And I'm just like, what? And so, yes.
Yes. Oh, I love it. So we got some more people popping in. Mr. Ben says, good morning, coming in from Florida. Ben Wood. And then Mr. Milo, always coming in heavy. He says, my ideal customers and partners are the people who are intentionally showing up with a vision beyond themselves and the here and now. Yes, beautifully said. Totally agree.
Value the human being, like that's important. Like, value the human being.
Yeah, like other people are important. Oh my God. But totally important. Similar to Mario's point, he says the biggest fulfillment for him is seeing people grow and save time in their careers to achieve their goals sooner, right? Like, again, for me, what comes through in this thread is serving others. I know, like, again, through my fulfillment loop, that is critical for me. If I'm not serving others, or when I'm underserving, I am irritated. I'm disappointed in myself, and I'm like, oh, that was not good. Like, I need to fix that. Because just serving me is easy, and that gets me in freaking trouble. Maya says, energy is so important. You both bring that to the table, even through a screen. It makes such a big difference. Thank you, Maya.
Yes.
So in terms of this question, right, have you ever, here's the thing I want people to think about. You may be over serving something they don't want or care about. Is that clear, Jen?
It is. And that, I think I have a ton of examples in my head. The one that I think resonates the most to this hits what you just said. And so it was about 10, 11 years ago, maybe around that. And I was asked with a group of people to come in and kind of help educate maybe our executive group on some of the things we were doing internally, and to kind of get them engaged and kind of help them see how it's going to, change some of the thinking or whatever. So what did we do? Because, of course, like, we can do that. That's easy. We've got, a group of 15, 20 partners and executives in the room. We're going to give them Prime to Perform and have them read the book. And then we're going to come in and do a study action team. So number one, my I guess advice is, number one, know your audience. And it's funny and prime the pump. I'm just going to say, like, so if you've read that book, it's a solid book. Like, there's a lot in there. Is a lot. And when you're asking an executive group that probably has some other things going on and don't do study action teams very much, asking them to read this book and then come in, and then we're going to like talk through all the things on why it's such an amazing book. Like, we thought, we were so excited. We were so proud. We were like, had the A3s and we had all the stuff. And for the first 20 minutes of the conversation, it was, I only read half the book. Why did you give us this book? Like, like, was this necessary? Like, we were answering questions, one, because they gave us, someone asked us to do something and we're like, we have the answer, not knowing the audience and not priming the pump for, hey, this is what's about to happen. Hey, here's something, like, none of it. So and then we went in there, we finally got to the point to where there were some 1 or 2 takeaways probably that they took, but most of it was just getting to listen to them and then defend something that we thought was important. And like, we wasted so much time because we did not, they weren't the ask. They didn't ask us. Someone did, but they were the audience. They were the customer.
Yeah.
And it was not communicated well. And so it was a waste of a lot of very important time and conversations just to try to sell it. And if that's what you're doing, like, you don't know your customer, you're not priming the pump, and you're not delivering the value they're looking for.
Yes.
So
yeah, for me, like, a smaller version of that is solution shanking. Like, oh, I know what you need. Like, you don't even understand what my goal is.
Yes.
Like, you don't even understand if this is, like, at Converge, we got to see it live, right? Megan shared, like, she just threw out like a simple problem, like a thing that's bugging her. And she was clear. It's like, I don't care if it like, it's what it is. I don't care. And then everybody started, well, you should do this.
You should do this. You should do this. You should do this. Yes.
Without spending any time understanding, like, do you care about this? What do you want to get out of it? Like, how much does it affect you? And like, no intel gathering at all. You call it prime the pump. And we do that too many times, right? I mean, I've done it. I think we all do it naturally, because here's the sneaky thing, is it makes me feel like I helped.
Oh, you get that jolt of things inside you that makes you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yes.
So it's more about me than it is about them.
Yep.
And that is not the fulfillment loop. So folks, again, have you ever delivered something you were proud of only to discover they cared about something different? No doubt in my mind, people on the call have experienced that. Jennifer says relational, not transactional, right? Delivering something that people don't really want, it's not like precisely what they're looking for. That's a transaction, because it lacks the deeper understanding of the human being. So you miss, and you feel like you're doing good, and they're disappointed, and you're irritated. Find out first, focus on them, which is going to take us to another point where I think we're going to get a little sticky. But first, I want to share Erin's comment, because she's going deep. I used to measure wins by the work I got right. Now I measure wins by how aligned we became when I got it wrong. What do you think about that?
I love that, because if you're measuring your wins by the things you're doing right, you're not allowing any opportunity for growth.
Oof.
If you are only measuring it by the things you get right, which are defined by other people, and you're not even clear on what they want, or you haven't gotten clear on what you want, there's no growth. It's either I'm doing what they're wanting me to do, or I'm not. And if I'm not doing it, how do I make sure I'm doing this? You're not giving yourself any opportunity for growth, because the growth, and some people don't like when I say this, the growth doesn't come with your successes. And just stop. When you win, when you got the championship, when you got a big sale, you don't stop and go, what did we do great? When you fail, when you lose something, when something doesn't go right, is when you stop and go, what did we do wrong? And that's just what we do. If we're winning, we're high, we are great, we did everything we were supposed to do, let's keep moving. We don't, when we're doing those things, there's no opportunity for growth. And so the failures or the disconnects or the things that, like she says, I get wrong, that those are the opportunities where we grow and we reflect, and then we end up being better than we were, and we improve. And I don't think people stop and think about that. And they're just looking for, again, like you said, being able to, like, what's the checklist? What's the boxes I need to do? What is the thing that I know is going to provide value? And then you just keep doing them without there being any reflection, conversation, opportunity for, hey, like, there was a gap, there was a miss.
Yep.
And what could I have done differently? Like, that's a whole different type of mindset.
Yeah. My question is, how could I have better served you? How can I better serve you? Right? Like I did my thing. How can I better? Because that helps me. Like I have an idea of what I want to deliver. I have an idea of the experience I want to provide. That doesn't necessarily mean it fulfills the need or the gap that the person in front of me or the group in front of me has. And so if I over focus, or rather when I've over focused on the value I want to deliver, I create problems for myself. And so Mario says sometimes when we care a lot, we can create friction. All we are doing is the best for the customers. And I'm going to pick on that because that's how I used to rationalize it. Like, well, I was doing it for you, all my exes. Why do you want? Well, I'm working so we could do all the things that you want to do. Bullshit. Like, sure, I wanted to do the things they wanted to do, but I was always also doing it mostly to fulfill my ego, my need and appetite for status, which had nothing to do with them. And so I want to put that out there. Like, if you're convinced that, well, you're doing it for them and it's not having the outcome, it's not generating the outcome that you want, you're freaking missing, which takes us to the next question. Are you delivering the value you want to give instead of the value the person actually needs? So, Jen, has this ever manifested itself in your life?
Well, and what came to mind, and it's not specifically something that I have seen, but I've observed. So I'm going to talk through that. Is a lot of times, and the example is, we're probably not going to get this job, but let's just go through the effort and the energy and all of the time to pursue it. Because it helps the numbers, it pads some things over here, or it gives us something to feel like, okay, well, we made a run at it. If you're able to say those things knowing that the end result is not going to be what you want, like, it blows my mind. And again, I work in construction. So there's times where you just need to go because the customer asks you to do something so that you can stay in good graces and things like that. Like, I understand that. I'm not discounting that. But there are times I think that our people get asked to do something knowing the end result's going to be a fail, knowing the end result's going to not give us the win. And I'm asking you in those situations, because of the time and effort and everything that it takes to pursue those things, do you understand the end result and the value that you're looking for? Because I think that's where the miss is. I think that they're going through and checking boxes, but in the end they're like, okay, once we don't get the job and we don't get the whatever it is, okay, but here's the value that we were able to get through this process. If you can't define that, not just like, oh yeah, it'll help our relationship. Like, if you can't define, but this is what it's going to do, and then you need to stop and reevaluate it. And I was sitting in just listening. It wasn't even contributing to a conversation recently on two big pursuits with two clients that didn't go our way. But then the next statement was, but here's what we gained from it. And we had this conversation, and the next time we go after it, now we're so clear, and now we have a really good shot. Like, do you have those conversations? Do you understand the real value of something? Because we get so caught up on, here's what we can do, here's what we can do. And in construction, you know this, when you're pursuing it, here's all the work we've done, here's all the things that we know we can do, and then we go into it going, this is what you need. And we don't stop and understand that their needs in our service we provide may not match.
They're not aligned.
It's hard for people to walk away from that.
Yeah. I think of that is a familiar thing, right? Just say no, man. Right? Sometimes a customer needs to know, like, no, we're not going to pursue this because of the way your team manages and leads.
Yeah.
There's risk.
There is a lot.
It could help them in the long run, right? The two examples for me that come to mind, I'll start with the worky one, is people are looking for a management system that's going to help them, save schedule time and whatever. And they're like, Jess, do you do this? Like, no, I don't do that. Could I do it? Yes. Yes, I could. And I could help them and I could make money. And so that's like really more about me. But what they really need is this other person contact that I have that is an expert at that will absolutely contribute to their experience in a more meaningful way than what I can. And so what I do is like, man, I could help you, but I'm not the best resource for that. Here is the person that you really no, but we like you. Like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do that. This is what I'm prepared to do, which is nowhere near what you want. So go somewhere else.
You talk about fulfillment when you are in a place, and I've experienced this where like, yeah, I could, but dang, I got somebody that could do it better. And when you make a connection and then you see, you get to watch the value that is created from the need and from what this person can provide, like the fulfillment in that and what that can do. And then, just again, you've made a connection that now is going to prosper and do so much more. Like when you can get to a place to where that's what fills you, like that's next level.
Yeah, 100%. Now in the personal realm, reminded me of Madi. We used to go to this one restaurant here in San Antonio that I didn't like because it was loud. There were a bunch of kids running around. They had a DJ and mariachis. Like it was a freaking party every weekend. And they had a breakfast buffet, and the food was great. So we would go there every Saturday or whatever it was, because I thought she loved that place. Because she would always order this thing that wasn't on the menu, which I was like, why do you do that? But whatever. So all this time, I thought I was delivering value, right? I was delivering the value I wanted, which was to give her, her little thing, whatever she liked there. And then finally one day I said, man, can we have breakfast somewhere else just once? And she's like, yes, please, because I hate this place. And so like the whole time I thought I was scoring points, taking her to the place that she liked, when I was actually losing points because the reason she was going was because she thought I liked it. So I was so focused on me, I never asked her, where would you prefer, like, where do you like to have breakfast at, right? Which is dumb, which takes us back to like the first point. You gotta ask. But I was stuck in this loop of I thought I was delivering the value of, like that I wanted to give, which was I picked the place. It's the place that she likes. I knew it, and we're just going to go there. And it was not what she needed, right? And so, like in both realms, in the workspace and in the personal space, we do this a lot, and it creates a lot of the damn friction that we're dealing with because we don't step out to like do the scary thing and say no. This is what's better for you, for us, for whatever outcome we're working towards. What do you think, Jen?
Well, yes, Jesse, all of that. And so, I have a personal example also, because like our people, the people that work in our tribe and in our little space, like we're fixers. We can fix things. And that is like, again, I'm just going to, you can't fix Jesse, but I'm saying in general, we can fix things. And as a parent, like we can fix things quicker and faster because we've already experienced it. We've already screwed things up. And I have, if you didn't know, 2 teenage daughters. And for the longest time, because I'm a little hard-headed sometimes, when one of them would come to me with a problem regarding the other one, and it could be as simple as this one did this, or they took this, or they didn't ask for this, or whatever it was. I'm the mom. I'm gonna fix the problem. And I would listen, and I would see the problem, and I would see what the solution is, and then I'd go to the other one and I would address it. And this is what needs to happen. I'm just gonna tell you, if you don't know, it didn't fix anything because that was not what was needed. Going back to the needs. And so after having done that a couple times and then getting yelled at for fixing it or trying to fix it, my youngest daughter the next time she came and said something to me, and I'm already just like, I've learned to at least not talk. I've at least let her tell me the story. She goes, "No, Mom, I'm not telling you this for you to go and tell Bella what she needs to do or even to address it with Bella. I just need to say it."
Mhm.
I mean, she's like at that time probably 14, 13, like, damn, if that's not somebody that is smarter than me in that moment.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It reminds, so let's go on the other side of the coin. And you nailed it, right? A lot of us are fixers, and we misinterpret somebody bringing an issue as them asking for help, and maybe
Yeah.
they're just sharing, right? Which is good. And guess what? That's one of the things we work on in emotional bungee jumpers.
Yes.
But I had a boss who, same thing. We had our regular check-ins, and I would be updating him on, the status of things, and he would jump and stir shit up. And so finally I got to a point, and I'm sharing this so that folks, if you got people like that in your life, like, be proactive about it. There's an action you can take. So I got super clear with him, like, hey man, I'm going to share my update with you on the condition that you do not get in the middle of it. It's not ideal yet, but I'm working on, I've got it. If I can't make progress, I will tell you I need you to take action. And like, no, I'm not telling you nothing until you accept my condition. And he said, and then, it opened up a dialogue. He's like, okay, but this one's hot. So if you can't solve it within 3 days, I'm getting involved. I can deal with that. I just don't need you screwing it all up yet. Like, give me some time. And so my point in that is, when you're working with fixers that have authority, you got to let them know, like, I'm gonna let you know, just like Alex said, like, I just need to say it. I don't need you. You're just gonna make it worse, man. Like, stay out of this. It is okay. Rather, it's a healthy practice to make a condition and say, look, I'm going to tell you on the condition that you keep your damn mouth shut. Like, let's just keep it between us. And if you find that they can't do that, then just stop telling them. Yep. All right. So we got 3 minutes to randomizer.
Okay.
Ben made a pretty interesting comment. He's got a question for the group. He says, sometimes I think we bring irrelevant value because of the Protestant work ethic most of us were raised on, where value equals hard work and fun equals not value. Often my customers really wanted the value that was easiest and most fun for me to deliver. Therefore, I assumed it would not be no value. So what I'm getting from that is, it's like, if it's fun, then it's not really work. And if it's not really work, then I'm not delivering value. So I need to stop doing that. I agree with you, Ben, in that we get it twisted, but it is but the world that I live in now is kind of like the feedback I talked about earlier that one managing partner gave me. He's like, well, we value the most important thing, the most valuable thing that you do, Jesse, is you get our people excited. You activate our people.
That part,
right?
yes.
And I did that through fun. Whereas prior to that, I was overly focused on the work and the technicalities of all the things, which didn't produce the outcome that was actually going to bring long-term value.
Yep.
What do you think, Jen?
Well, I mean, it goes back to my example earlier on just what value do I provide and how can I do, like, keep giving hugs, keep showing up, keep getting our people excited, keep bringing your energy. Like, those are not ROI things. I'm just going to say they're not the way people define ROI, but that is the role that's kind of what I've created. And they're just like, we need you to keep doing that. And Ben, I agree we get it tangled up, but I agree also that I am having fun every day and I am providing more value now than I have ever provided. So sometimes we've got to reconcile it in our head first, and then we've got to get clear on then what we can provide to others. So yes.
And I'm going to drop a little hook, and then we're going to do randomizer.
Yes.
I learned that if fun is a no-no, maybe I'm in the wrong freaking place. Because I
Yes.
used to get that a lot. Like, Jesse, your management style, you're just too familiar with the guys. I'm like, what do you lack executive presence? I'm like, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. And it was because I had fun with the guys. Like, we would joke, they would talk smack to me in trainings and, whatever. And at that time, I had a supervisor that was like, you should not tolerate that. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, it was a problem. That person ended up leaving, which was, it needed that. It was one of us was going to have to go eventually.
I had that.
So,
I had but I know you're going to do the randomizer next, but I had an example this past week. So we had a new hire class, and it's like 28 new hires, which was it's like one of the biggest classes I had. And I do this exercise like a round robin, kind of like a speed dating thing that I do. And they rotate, they get to meet with different executives in the office. But in between, for them to rotate, I have this little bell that I ring, and it kind of like signals, okay, shift. And sometimes some of them don't listen as well. So I'm like, I am dancing around, ringing the bell, getting up in somebody's face, whatever. And I'm just, I'm dying. I'm having so much fun. And like everyone were like, man, you're having too much fun. And they got into it. Some were trying to steal the bell and all that. Like it was still work, but it's like, it is when you create the value, then like you don't realize the definition of value is not one definition.
Right. So again, the value, like getting clear about what the other person values is ultra important, but it doesn't mean you got to stick around and deliver that value if it ain't the value that you want to deliver, which again, we'll touch on.
Yes.
But it is randomizer time. Randomizer. Let's see who gets it this time. Got to do the clicking. All right, here we go. Are we sharing? We are sharing. Yes. And all right, let's see who's gonna get it. Oh man, I like the way we just get to see everybody's face.
I know, and then all the names, and then it's like, who's next?
Yo. Oh,
I'm so excited.
Oh, Jennifer, you better be ready to be super uncomfortable. I love that for a lot of reasons.
Yes, me too.
All right, Jennifer, Miss Jennifer Martinez, just be ready. I'll be sending you a calendar invite so we can go and work on them skills that most people stay away from.
Yes.
All right, so back to it. Ben, thank you for asking the question. I think we got some clarity around that. I dropped a couple of teasers about Sarah's like, yeah, welcome.
You don't even know what's about to happen.
So the next question is this.
Okay.
And we got a few minutes left. And so if you can't answer it, that's okay. I want y'all to think about it. The question is this. Are you in a place where you can deliver your most impactful value? Why is that? Why was that question necessary, Jan?
It's important. And again, Jesse and I have had a lot of conversations, a lot of experience in this topic. So I'm speaking from a place of growth, not from just knowledge. So a lot of that is when I get clearer on what's important to me and what my purpose is and where I can impact and help our industry get better, because that's what's important to me. When I get clear on that, if where I'm at is not going to feed that and foster that and cultivate growth in that, I am not going to be able to provide the best opportunities and solutions for the people around me, and I'm going to be miserable. If I get clear, which is part of it, we have to get clear on what's important to us and where we provide value and what that looks like. And then I have continued to be in a place that doesn't look for that or want that or value it. Like, you are not going to be happy. And some people, they live their life that way. We just choose not to. And I mean, it's been a lot of clear conversations, and Jesse, you can speak to this, is you and I, over the course of 6 years, like I've gotten clearer on what's important to me. Also, we've had conversations. I work for a company. Sorry. I work for a big company. I also do a lot of things with you outside of it. And you have challenged me on like, okay, what's important, what's this, but I've also been able to help you see how they support that and how they have seen and allowed me to lean into those things. And which is why, you know, again, there's value in me being where I'm at. And I bring that up because it would have been easy going, okay, now you got this figured out, Jennifer, go start your own company, or go, you know, like go and make it shift, because like you're working for a company and now you need to go do it yourself, which is you did, Jesse. You like found all the things that didn't work in the spaces you were in, and then now you're getting to cultivate what that looks like for yourself.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that's the only answer, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Is sometimes me getting clear and communicating it and living it, they found value in it. And so it's are you in a place? Sometimes you can cultivate it in the space you're in. Sometimes you can't, and then what are you going to do?
Yes. I'm gonna say this a little rougher.
Okay, say it.
In that, like, some of us are fortunate in that we work at a place that nurtures our gifts and talents and taps into it.
Yep.
That is not the norm.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Expecting to have a job with a firm or corporation, expecting them to provide the conditions for you to experience fulfillment and be your best self, whatever you want to call it, is an unreasonable expectation.
Correct.
We as individuals, that's our responsibility. It's kind of like back when I was dating long time ago. It is not my job to make people happy. It is my job to make me happy. It is your job to make you happy. And if we can do that together, that's a good thing. And if we can't, guess what? We don't need to be spending time together. It's not my responsibility to make you happy. And so in terms of like, the question here is, are you in a place where you can deliver your most impactful value? First, get clear about what that value is. How do you best serve? What brings you the greatest amount of fulfillment? Those are the parameters I live by. There was a point in time where it was clear that the situation I was in was going to get in the way, was in the way of me having the greatest impact. So I had to make a change, and I made a decision to make that change. It took, 18 months or whatever it was. But here I am now. If you're not in a place where you can have your greatest impact, where you're having to suppress your ideas, the things that you see that will better serve the group, you can stay there and fight it. And I've done that, right? I've spent 10, 15 years at a place fighting certain fights, and I made progress, but it was super, super slow. So just know that if you're going to stay and somebody else is funding your fulfillment, it's going to go slower than if you were solely funding your own fulfillment. So there's a couple comments I think that speak to this I want to bring up. My brother, Mr. Russell, says, a place where make the most impact, it is so hard to see that even with self-awareness. Sometimes you need someone to pull you out and shake you. What do you think about that, Jen?
You know, my answer to this is where I was. Even though I was having success, I was checking the boxes, doing everything. And if you have not collided with Jesse before, then I encourage you to do that. But you've seen it more than anyone else, is when you and I collided and you got me and shook me and said some things to me that I had not heard and that weren't comfortable, and that asked me a ton of questions that made me have to self-reflect. I don't know if I can even speak to it as much as maybe what you did 6 years ago, and like, oh, there's this person. Let me see what we can do and where we are now, like where I'm at now. Like I can't even describe it.
Yeah, no, yes, like that's, again, you and I've talked about this. I think my super secret superpower is inciting people to go from 0 to 1.
Yep.
How do I do that? I just call out what I see and say, hey, this is what I see. Do you see that? And do you want to go in this direction? Do you want to explore that? Like, it's a little stickier than that, but that's basically what I do. Because like I said, it drives me crazy to see people caged and pent up in a situation. Russell seemed like, if you're stuck, or maybe you're not, maybe you don't know that you're stuck.
I didn't know I was stuck. I'm just going to say, I didn't
maybe
know.
You don't know that you're stuck, but expanding your network, inviting other people in to speak into your life, going out and connecting with people that capture your attention can help you find another way. Now, again, if it's providing fulfillment, if it's providing self-awareness, if it's providing personal growth, then do it. If it's not, then don't, right? Like, don't just follow me because I'm so hot. Like, I mean, I know it's hard, but
he won't take you home. I'm just going to say he will not take you home. So you can follow him, but you're not getting in the door.
And so James Gable shares, and I love it, right? So happy to say that I truly am in a place where I bring the most impactful value without it really seeming like work, right? Yes. I remember, James, when I saw that post that you made, I was like, oh, and going to Kobe, like, this is a match, like a match made in heaven. This is going to be phenomenal for both parties. And I think that's another important part, right? Is there's a reciprocal gain. There's a mutual improvement for both parties where nobody's having to necessarily sacrifice anything, but they boost each other's experience. And like, they're out there, man. They really, really are out there. Mr. Milo says, the way I like to see it is if I flourish where I'm planted, I will eventually outgrow my current planter, whatever that might be naturally. Yes, right? Like, absolutely. And so maybe if you don't know that you're stuck, how much have you grown? Like, if you're not growing, that's a sign. I'm not saying that you're in a bad situation, but it's a sign that maybe it's time for a new planter. What do you think, Jen?
Well, and you know how I feel about this. And for me, it comes down a lot to, if you're not already involved, please reach out to us. But Cultivation Crew and Emotional Bungee Jumpers, which are things that Jesse and I facilitate, leadership opportunities and growth and soft skills and all the things that people aren't doing. Like, in those exercises, there are challenges that we not only have our attendees do, but Jesse and I do also, going out into the world and getting feedback to be able to self-reflect and also be able to get to understand where you are. And I started it with this, asking the questions, asking and getting outside of yourself. And to me, that was the game changer. It was, I was so in my head because I had everything figured out and I knew what I needed to do, that as soon as someone, Jesse, spoke into me, and then I started taking these challenge questions and these questions that made me a little uncomfortable because I didn't know what the answers were going to be. And it even made some of the people I asked uncomfortable because they were not used to being asked those questions. And I mean, 3 or 4 years in now to doing what we've been doing, it's like, what's the question this month? Like, now they're just ready for whatever.
They know.
But I mean, but some of them are, what do I need to stop doing? What do I need to never stop doing? Like, those are things that allowed me to go into that meeting last week and go, where do you see my role? And I'm in a position to where I know my role and I know the value I provide very clearly. And I was able to ask a room that I had no idea what they were going to say. Like, because they're all in different positions. And everything aligned. And again, when you start getting reps and practice of that type of conversation, you're not scared of the answers. And I think, to me, that's the difference.
Yes. Yeah. And I want to close with 2 points, Jen. One, because this did happen to me. You might feel like you're missing and underperforming and not doing good, and like you're on the cutting edge of getting chopped. Similar to figuring out what people value, asking them, tell your boss. Like, there was one time I had a boss, we were in Denver, and I said, hey man, I need to talk to you. He's like, okay, what? And I said, look, I feel like I'm underperforming. I feel like I'm dragging the team down and I feel like I'm disappointing you. Like I'm not anywhere near meeting your expectations. Please tell me what are the top 2 things that I need to work on? And he's like, what? I'm like, that's how I feel, bro. Like for real, this is what I'm feeling. And he said, oh my God, I need to spend more time with you because absolutely not. Like I am confident. I get all kinds. He said a lot of really great things. Like, oh shit, I didn't even know. He's like, I get feedback from everybody. We're trying to figure out how to get some of the other people that are in your position doing more of the things that you're doing, working with the executive leadership and less on the job site stuff. Like, no, you're doing well. Like, oh, and again, it just changed my energy, but it came from me saying, hey, it's the opposite side of the coin and saying, what value do you want from me? How can I best serve you? It's like, hey, I'm feeling like I'm not hitting the mark. What do I need to do? Letting them know that you feel that way or that's your experience can really enlighten you in terms of like, no, you're doing pretty damn good. So something to consider. The second point I want to point out that, Jen, we've touched on the emotional bungee jumpers and cultivation crew. And like the ultimate value of those 2 experiences, the eye candy. So if you want some more of this, you could hit me up. I'll shoot you the link. You can sign up for it. Jen, you got any closing thoughts?
No, I mean, that was the biggest thing is, and I say this, the questions that you ask, like you get to ask questions that going to give you the answers you expect. You're going to just check the boxes and like going to your example of asking tell me some things I can work on, or tell me where I'm missing the mark. For me, it was tell me what you see my role is, or what value do you see, what do I need to stop doing? What do I never. I mean, I work in a corporate world, and one of my responses to what do I need to never stop doing was never stop hugging people. Like,
yeah.
When I mean, like, I would have never expected that to be an answer from someone that is, running an office and things like that. So like, you don't know until you ask.
Yes.
That's all I gotta say.
Yes. All right. It is time for the walk-off music, Jen.
Yeah.
Are you ready?